Hello everybody and welcome back to Lobrix, and we are back at Jabba's Palace. Well, kind of Jabba's Palace. As you know, we are not quite working on the palace itself, but the underside of it. And today we are going to be doing something very interesting because, as you know, in the last episode of the Jabba's Palace series, we built up this wall. But when you look through these glass panels that are acrylic plastic panels that we have, I want to be able to see the Rancor. So I'm actually going to be moving this door over to here, which shouldn't be too hard, but it's definitely going to require some work. And I think this is actually going to end up working better because this is going to be a hallway. We're going to have some jail cells right here. So when you do look through, it is just going to look a lot nicer, and we can see a lot more of the Rancor pit. Also, this is going to extend a little bit more through here, and I'm going to have a little bit of a rock wall here, and it's going to come up. And then there's going to kind of be a wall here, and then there's going to be a little hole, and then there's going to be where Luke is grabbing onto the grate. So you're going to get a lot of the scenes in there. But for today's episode, we're going to be having to move this over to here, which unfortunately I got to do a time lapse, which I know you guys would prefer if I would build it with in person. And I know it's not focusing on the palace itself, but I know if you guys prefer to do it in person, but I can't actually do it and build it and show you guys at the same time. So it's going to be time-lapse. But anyway, let's get into that. Okay, so that was a lot of building. I'm sorry I can't show you that a little better. It's a little frustrating, I'm not gonna lie. What we got going on here is basically this is the gate of the Rancor pit, right? And that works perfectly, just how I wanted it to. So when you look through here, you can see into the gate. Except there's one problem. It didn't work in my head how I wanted it to. I wanted to kind of keep the same layout of the old Jawas, of the old Rancor pit, which I did retain the shape, right? But these kind of holder things up top are what hold Jabba's palace into place. But I couldn't retain that. So we're going to begin to modify this, and we're also going to start shaping out the actual walls of the underside, because all this in here is actually going to kind of be dead space unless we figure it out. So basically this wall is going to extend into here. This is going to be an end hallway. There's going to be 2 jail cells right there and there from the movie. And then here's our droid room. So that's basically the layout. So I hope it is going to work well. And then of course Jabba's Palace, which is over there, is going to sit on top of this once we fix it up a little bit. But I hope you guys can start to see what we got going on here. So the Rancor pit will open up like that, and you can kind of see in there. And eventually that will be all encompass. It's a really bad shot there. Sorry. It will all encompass over here, and this hallway will come in through here. But we got a lot more building to do, so I'm sorry. It's back to hyperlapse. right, guys, so there is the second hyperlapse done. And I know it was a little hard to understand really what was going on there. And I apologize for that. I tried to make it a little easy to see, but it wasn't so clever, or wasn't so clear. But this is really what I've built. You can start to see it's definitely coming along here with, you got the cells I talked about earlier, and you've got this finished area. There is one spot in there where I want to fix up the greebing a little bit, but I'll tell you what, it definitely is looking a lot better, and you can start to see really what I'm going for here. And I think once that back wall is in, it's really going to solidify Jabba's palace. Which, speaking of which, we've got something planned special for these back walls here. And eventually there will be a wall along here and along there, and it's really gonna finish up this basement. So you really can start to see where we're going with this. But where I'm going to struggle, and where this video is actually gonna end, is how are we gonna get Jabba's palace actually to mount back on top of here? Because remember I said earlier it has to be on this level because it aligns with this and this. So it's gonna be a challenge because these pieces are in the right spot, but there's no mounts right there. So I think we're gonna have to sacrifice the gate going up. So what we might do is actually keep it open like this, right? And the gate right there will be cut or something like that along that lines, but we might keep it closed. But anyway, let's get back into hyperlapse. Unfortunately, I'm sorry so much hyperlapse, and see what we can do to make Jabba's palace fit back on top here. Let's get into it. Okay, so there you have it. The Jabba's palace is mounted. You actually can still lift it from its pads. So if we take a look what I did under here, we actually just remounted this, and I kind of fixed up this looking a little nice, and I finally fixed up that wall so it looks a little better. But if we take a look at the final product here, once we place Jabba's palace back on top, we can finally get a look at what I've been waiting for. That Rancor pit through those clear plastic panels. So now we've got that Rancor pit cage in the front, a little door right there, and you can start to see that you're going to be able to see this whole basement section. And then on top of that, the Jabba's palace section, which is going to be up there. So I think this is going to be really cool. Once we got that mountain around it, it's going to look really, really sick. But for now, if you look in there, you also can see the Rancor himself and Luke struggling against him. Or if you want a better look, you can actually open that up. We'll cut it down, or you can keep that door open. Doesn't matter. And then we've got the Rancor keeper, I'm going to say. And he's got some accoutrements and tools all around to do just that. But that's actually going to do it for this Jabba's Palace update video. We got a lot done. And I know I'm really, really bad at filming these videos, so I'm sorry for that. But hopefully one day we actually can start working on the upstairs of Jabba's palace, but not any episode soon. We still got to finish the Rancor pit on both sides here, and then we got to finish the walls throughout here, which, by the way, I said earlier in the video, we do have a excitement for that as well. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for staying tuned on this epic epic build. I'll see you guys in the next one.